I am well practiced in avoidance and indifference, though the hollowness in my soul resents her absence. I wear the mask I must. If you try to change it, you will ruin it. Try to hold it, and you will lose it. The task of modern man is not to find his inner self, but to create himself. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. That's the problem with memories. You can visit them, but you can't live in them. My destination is no longer a place, rather a new way of seeing. I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. How people treat you is their karma, how you react is yours. It is remarkable how long men will believe in the bottomlessness of a pond without taking the trouble to sound it. There's no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. Once you really know yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing about you. Never let hard lessons harden your heart. The hard lessons of life are meant to make you better, not bitter. When you compare the sorrows of real life to the pleasures of the imaginary one, you will never want to live again, only to dream forever. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. One of the greatest journeys in life is overcoming insecurity and learning to truly not give a shit. There is one who remembers the way to your door. Life you may evade, but death you shall not. The mind is like a restless monkey, but with practice and detachment, it can be tamed and made peaceful. Life takes a bit of time and a lot of relationship. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something. You often meet your fate on the road you take to avoid it. I promise you this. When I embraced my differences and stopped trying to fit in, I ended up where I belonged. There is something almost shocking in the notion of so chaste a function carrying this canny and hurly-burly in her womb. The lesson we are indebted to Egypt for, our future generations learn that in the face of oppression, silence is never golden. Problems in science are sometimes made easier by adding complications. It used to be about trying to do something. Now it's about trying to be someone. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. The meaning of earthly existence lies not, as we have grown used to thinking, in prospering, but in the development of the soul. The truth, Dumbledore sighed. It is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution. Misunderstanding is my cornerstone. It's everyone's, come to think of it. Illusions mistaken for truth are the pavement under our feet. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. Notice the difference between being in control and needing control. Dedicate yourself to what gives your life true meaning and purpose. Make a positive difference in someone's life. Act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you'd like to act. Make the most of what you have and keep your standards high. Never settle for anything less than you deserve or are capable of achieving. Dreams don't work unless you take action. The surest way to make your dreams come true is to live them. It is a fool's prerogative to utter truths that no one else will speak. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. People who say that yesterday was better than today are ultimately devaluing their own existence. Don't think about the possibilities of failing. Never forget to think about the possibilities of flying. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. Those who win never give up. Those who give up never win. Those who make conversations impossible make escalation inevitable. Even if things don't unfold the way you expected, don't be disheartened or give up. One who continues to advance will win in the end. Happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. We need to renew ourselves often. Even temples need renovation. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. As soon as a religion comes to dominate, it has as its opponents all those who would have been its first disciples. Sometimes it's not enough to know what things mean. Sometimes you have to know what things don't mean. Good people see the good and bring out the best in other people. People say that life is the thing, but I prefer reading. Often it feels like I am breathing today only because a few years back I had no idea which nerve to cut. The more I live, the more I learn. The more I learn, the more I realize, the less I know. The greatest step towards a life of simplicity is to learn to let go. Truth will always be truth, regardless of lack of understanding, disbelief, or ignorance. No matter who you are, no matter what you did, no matter where you've come from, you can always change, become a better version of yourself. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Surround yourself with only people who are going to lift you higher. This is how you start to get respect, by offering something that you have. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. A kind gesture can reach a wound that only compassion can heal. The results of knowledge without application results in nothing at all. Do what you know better to do. Truth persuades by teaching, but does not teach by persuading. If what he said was the truth, it broke her heart. If what he said was a lie, it was broken anyway. We cannot do everything at once, but we can do something at once. Fortune does favor the bold, and you'll never know what you're capable of if you don't try. To be independent of public opinion is the first formal condition of achieving anything great. I am like any other man. All I do is supply a demand. Give me the facts and I will determine my own truths. The best way to predict your future is to create it. We all have negative thoughts now and then, but we can choose not to dwell there and not to let them control us. You never know who you're inspiring or uninspiring. People notice more than you think. A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and gets to bed at night, and in between he does what he wants to do. There is another alphabet, whispering from every leaf, singing from every river, shimmering from every sky. Don't blow off another's candle, for it won't make yours shine brighter. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. No other success can compensate for failure in the home. Because it's much more pleasant to be obsessed over how the hero gets out of his predicament than it is over how I get out of mine. You see, the deaf have an intimacy with silence. It's there in their dreams. Be faithful to that which exists within yourself. Truth has nothing to do with the conclusion, and everything to do with the methodology. When one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. I will continue my path, but I will keep a memory always. Never mourn the loss of innocence, because it always brings the much greater gain of wisdom. I didn't come here of my own accord, and I can't leave that way. Whoever brought me here will have to take me home. To say that the first casualty of war is truth is to miss the rather more important point that a principal weapon of war is lies. If life gives you any trouble, punch it in the face. It may be unfair, but what happens in a few days, sometimes even a single day, can change the course of a whole lifetime. To be prepared against surprise is to be trained. To be prepared for surprise is to be educated. The point of modern propaganda isn't only to misinform or push an agenda. It is to exhaust your critical thinking to annihilate truth. Never hold resentments for the person who tells you what you need to hear. Count them among your truest, most caring, and valuable friends. We strive for harmony, but it is not always realized. You cut me into pieces millions of times in millions of years. I will rebuild West Papua with these pieces 1,000,000 times over again. To invent your own life's meaning is not easy, but it's still allowed, and I think you'll be happier for the trouble. You better hide that heart of yours. It won't lead you anywhere you want to go. When it's possible for you to dream, it's not impossible to achieve.